But because we have a government which really doesn't respond, lawyers had written about 4 memorandums to the state, documenting the problems that they face. But unfortunately, nobody responded to them. Nobody even acknowledged receipt of these documents. So in 2016, they decided to have a sit-in strike action. For 1 month, the Minister of Justice, the attorney, nobody responded to them. Then we decided that we would march in the street with our wigs and gowns to call the attention of the government. If they were really sleeping, they would realize that we mean business. But the lawyers were brutalized, they were beaten, they were dragged in the mud, their wigs and gowns were seized. As a result of that, teachers and students had to join them in protesting. But these were peaceful protests. But unfortunately, on the 17th of January, internet was disconnected in the English-speaking part of the country for 3 months. I don't know whether you can really figure out what it means for internet to be disconnected in part of the country for 3 months. And that's kind of collective punishment because it was disconnected. We've had the war in the north on Boko Haram, which has been going on for more than a year. At no point in time, internet was cut off. But because of the protests in English-speaking Cameroon, internet was cut off for 3 months. We were arrested, blindfolded, and cuffed, and they drove us for close to 10 hours, locked up in very dehumanizing conditions, and charged in front of a military tribunal. So during this period, when they had taken out the moderate leaders, the movement morphed into other groupings that had been existing, but they really did not have the voice. So now a platform had been created. The young people in Anglophone Cameroon who wanted change had created that platform, which we were just fortunate to be their leaders. But when we left, and because of the treatment that they had given to those who were clamoring just for federation and a better living condition in the legal and educational system, most people argue that if you were preaching for federation and you were facing the death penalty, I would rather preach secession and separation and equally face the same death penalty. So that is how positions hardened because of the way people were killed, the way people were arrested. That is how positions hardened to now we have a separatist move. But the government still had an opportunity to find a solution. It was still easy for them to at least try to address the problem. But at no point in time have they attempted in finding a solution to the crisis. When they released us on the 31st of August, it was a golden opportunity to release all those who were detained. But they choose to release 3 of myself. Justice Aya, who used to be a sitting Supreme Court justice, was arrested and detained for 7 months without any trial. But they released some of us and left the others in jail. So all these have hardened position in such a way that if you talk to the average person in Anglophone Cameroon, separation, it's now en vogue. Now the majority of the people would not settle for anything less than separation. The majority of the people now are asking for a referendum for them to determine their fate. But we still believe that something can still be done. Notwithstanding the situation, we can at least have a dialogue. We can at least have a negotiated settlement. The diaspora living in Canada also would have a role to play, because they are very influential. They have the money, they have a voice that we can involve them also in trying to see how we can find a holistic solution. So the problem cannot just be solved internally without including the diaspora. I'll give you an example. Cameroon has a way of blacklisting Cameroonians by birth who are out of the country. Yes, some of them might have a dual nationality, but we have Cameroonians who have arrived at the airport with a visa and they were sent back because they encourage dissent abroad. We cannot solve the problems in Cameroon without addressing the issue of the diaspora. We need to find a way that we would grant amnesty or clemency to those who are living abroad, who have not been convicted, but who are in a blacklist by the government, meaning that there are people who have parents in Cameroon, their parents die, they cannot come to Cameroon for fear of being arrested. So if these people cannot come to Cameroon as we know, they would rather prefer to come to Cameroon, which is Ambazonia. So we believe that the government of Canada can do a lot in trying to create enabling environment, in putting pressure on the government to call for a dialogue, and at best ask the people of Cameroon, ask the government to organize a referendum.
Yes, and thank you very much. Unfortunately, that is our time. I know we had a very limited time today, but thank you very much for your testimony before this committee, and thank you to the members for being here today. And with that, we adjourn the committee. Thank you.
Vous ne pouvez pas tromper les gens pendant 100 ans. Ils ont passé le temps à tromper les anglophones. Les accords qu'ils avaient signés avec les Ndjango Foncha, c'était que si un francophone est président, le vice-président doit être anglophone. C'est ce que nous avions tous vu dans les livres. Alors, ils ont pris le pouvoir sans paraître de tout. Même dans l'anglophone aujourd'hui, même pour balayer sa maison, il faut qu'il demande aux francophones. Ça n'existe pas, mes frères. Pour goudronner la route au nord-ouest, au sud-ouest, il faut que c'est les francophones pour décider, pour voter le budget. Ça n'existe pas, mes frères. Ça ne se fait pas. Ils n'avaient pas signé ça dans les conventions. Ça n'existe pas, mes frères. Ça ne se fait pas. Les anglophones ont parfaitement raison, mes frères. Regardez vous-même, vous allez voir que les anglophones ont raison. Ils ont exagéré. Le pouvoir, c'est pour c'est une petite poignée de personnes. Petite poignée de personnes. Et c'est ils ont mis le virus dans tout le système. Tu pars dans les impôts, c'est le match carnat. Tu pars au ministère de la santé, au match carnat. Tu pars au ministère de sport, au match carnat. C'est du n'importe quoi, mes frères. C'est du n'importe quoi. Un pays ne peut pas évoluer dans le tribalisme. Non, vraiment, moi, je suis d'accord de ces petits frères, ce qu'ils font. Je suis d'accord. Match carnat.
Yeah, with the Southern Cameroon Defense Force, SUCADEF, today the 28th of September, for attacking the Liberate convoy. Okay.